Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Mike Browning and Rob here at the Five by. I have a little bit of an issue with a little bit of feedback. You guys hearing that? A little bit of feedback?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I might have to go. A little bit of a feedback issue.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. That might be it. Here, let me see. I think that might end it. That was it. Okay. Better?
Better,
All right.
much better, yeah.
Here we go. So, hey, it's Mike and Rob, and we're here with Jay Cross from Art History in the heart of Philadelphia. And if you don't know, it's right at Continental Fair. So, Jay, thanks for joining us here today, my man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Jay. This is great.
Yeah. So, those of you who don't know, Jay is the mastermind, the designer, and behind the Art History brand here. I'm sure many of you, if you live in Northeast Philly, you're very familiar with
especially
it. Now, especially the brand is been around for over 10 years, right, Jay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So over
March 1st will be
brand
15 years
been
since
around
we
for
opened
over
the
15
store.
years. That's all. Congrats, brother.
Wow.
That's all. Congrats,
That is
brother.
huge.
Not only just
That is
in the
huge.
clothing
Not only
industry,
just in the clothing industry, which is a tough business to begin with,
but
just as a business owner,
that's a huge milestone.
That's a huge milestone. Something that we'll be extremely proud of,
So,
man. So,
congrats,
pal. That's awesome, man. Can
A
you hear
little
good?
better. That's not good. I feel like you might be a little better without the headset. Just
Yeah.
hear each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like that.
Yeah. So, Jay, so those who maybe aren't familiar with art history, do you mind kind of telling the people out there, like, about the art history origin story a little bit, man?
Yeah, so been in art since I was a kid. At 13 years old, got in a little trouble for graffiti. Um,
That's okay.
yeah. I eventually started one of my first jobs was working at Foot Action, selling clothes and sneakers. At 17 at the Roosevelt Mall. And I guess that them things kind of combined at one point in my life: art, clothes, sneakers. One of my friends had passed away, and I made one rest in peace shirt just in my mom's bedroom with a stencil I cut out, with like random stuff I had laying in the house, some spray paint. My mom had like puffy paint laying around. So I made this one shirt, wear it out. All my friends say, "Where'd you get the shirt from? We love it. Make us all shirts." So
Oh, that's awesome. So that's where it was born.
so that's kind of that's the origin story of how I started making shirts. I eventually was like, I'm on to something. I went to the Art Institute of Philadelphia for fashion design, and in my second semester, I got a job working for a clothing company that was pretty much nationwide at the time and just blowing up. So I worked there for 4.5 years. I did some pretty amazing things, learned the business. Flew all over the country, flew to Europe 5 times doing clothes, met a lot of celebrities, athletes, and just the business.
That's awesome.
And eventually started Art History. And was back in my mom's house making shirts when I first started making Art History. We ended up getting a little artist studio loft thing down Kensington because that was like the only thing we could afford. And we went probably 5 days or so without like selling a shirt. And I knew people wanted what I was doing. They just didn't know how to get it. We didn't have a website at the time. Like social media wasn't as popular as it is now. So I'm like, if we open up a store in the neighborhood, I bet you we'll never go a day without selling a shirt.
Yeah.
And here we are, 2 weeks away from 15 years since opening. It's like pretty amazing. So.
Yeah, I think it's a great story because again, it became like something. Obviously, you get a little bit of a graffiti background, and you kind of found love for that, and were able to take it and turn it into something positive here, right?
Absolutely.
And now it's a brand that's super well known, especially like you can't turn on the TV or social media now, Jay, and not see one of your designs. I mean, shit. I mean, Bradley Cooper, the fucking guy that ran out the Eagles, is on Pat McAfee with one of your shirts, man. I mean, but it's not only that. It's Pete Davidson wearing one on Jimmy Fallon, right?
Yeah. And then the whole offensive line was just on Jimmy Fallon with Hurts and Saquon 2 nights ago, and all them were with
Yeah, they were wearing them too that night.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man.
Wow.
How does that make you feel?
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So I try to explain this to people is that like as amazing that it is, like Pete Davidson is wearing art history, right? Is that I still get a similar feeling when I'm in the grocery store and I walk by someone that's wearing art history.
Yeah.
No matter who it is.
It
As
doesn't
long as
matter
it's
who
real.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as an artist, you want to get some type of feel out of people, whether if it's like shock value, love, sad, I hate it, I love it, blah, blah. It just means that like I put this effort into doing this and I'm getting something back out of it, whether it's the reaction or whatever. But Philadelphia is a blue collar city.
Yeah.
I don't know too many like crazy millionaires in Northeast Philly or anything like that. So to see people like spend their hard earn money on some art history stuff and like see how they embrace the brand and everything like that. It's just special.
Oh yeah. I could only imagine. That was great.
You really have built a strong brand. I mean, and again, I know we're right down the street. My business is right there, and and obviously, I see a lot of folks in the area here. But I had a buddy of mine that was out at the Super Bowl, and the dude right in front of him had the art history tag in the back. And I saw you posted a tag you on it, and so you really have created such a loyal following here of people that like not only like obviously big names like that, but you probably have built so much repeat customers and people that become kind of like family that are here. Like as soon as you drop a new release, they're lining up at the door here, man.
Absolutely. So when Bradley Cooper popped up the other day on the Pat McAfee wearing it,
has he reached out to you, by the way?
Who?
Bradley Cooper?
No, we have a mutual friend.
Okay.
All right. So I haven't met him yet, but Pete Davidson was wearing a hoodie before I actually met Pete, and then after the NFC conference game, I got an opportunity to sit down, meet Pete, and talk to him and everything like that. So really cool dude.
How did he get so wrapped up with the Eagles? Like he's from New York, right?
He is. Everybody loves Big Dom.
Really?
Yeah.
He is one of the most authentic people you're gonna find. Oh, absolutely.
He looks like it.
And that's the thing about like the Big Dom, how it's so special is that like people that have said to me like I wasn't real sure about like Big Dom, but then after I see like all the players wearing, all these celebrities wearing it, like I just see it everywhere. There's something about it that just like attracted them to it, and they're like, this guy got to have something special to him. If all these people are around.
It's been seen these $1 billion athletes are like have to embrace this guy who's going like that, just security for the team. You know what I mean? And embrace him up.
Like one thing I said to Dom was, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to collab with him because, you would think that's like, oh, if art history is going to collab with someone from the Eagles, it's going to be a player, right?
Yeah.
But it ended up being Big Dom, and I truly believe Big Dom's been with the Philadelphia Eagles 27 years. And he has built this aura and story behind him that, like, I would not be surprised if by the time that he retires, they're going to build a Big Dom.
It's such a good Dom's from football, Washington, right? Yeah.
Oh, he's from the Northeast.
Yeah, he's from the Northeast. He's like Washington. I think he's like he's like a year or two younger than me. So, like, if I was 95. He's probably 97, maybe.
Yeah, so, I mean, he has another Philadelphia successor. I mean, being born and raised in Philadelphia and then working for the Eagles for 27 years, and not only that is becoming who he became at the Eagles organization. It's just a true Philadelphia success story.
Yeah. Did you have him sit down for the sweatshirt?
No, so pretty crazy how this happened. So last year he got into that little scuffle with Dre Greenlaw from the 49ers, and when it happened, my phone, between people texting me, social media, everybody, we need an art history Big Dom shirt. We need an art history Big Dom shirt. And I'm like, I want to do it with him. Like, I don't want to just like bootleg a Big Dom shirt. So I was like, so I'm like, I gotta meet Big Dom, talk to him, get his permission and everything. And then the next day I found out the Eagles put one out and they were donating the money towards the Eagles' autism. So I was like, I'm definitely not putting one out to step. Like, I wouldn't want to take money out of their pocket, right? So I meet Dom during training camp this year, 2024 season. And I went there to give him a shirt, and I explained to him how everybody wanted an art history Big Dom shirt, and I didn't put it out. And he goes, he knows about all the people bootlegging Big Dom shirts.
Yeah.
And he thought that it was honorable that I did it and that I asked for permission. So it's like, you got my permission. So after that, I was proactive.
You did it the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We came up with the design. We went back to NovaCare, and I showed him the design. A couple hours later, like, yo, can you text that design over? So I texted over. And then a couple hours later, he goes, can you add the pinky ring? And at that point, yes. So at that point, that was like the cherry on top. And I'm like, he's invested, he likes it. So after we put the pinky ring on there, I went to NovaCare just to drop off a couple samples of hoodies and t-shirts just to get his final approval. Like, this is what we're gonna put out. Has the Italian flag on the sleeve and everything. So he loves this. The quality's great, but within minutes, like a couple players started coming in, putting it on.
Really?
And our mutual friend Davo that was with me, Pete Davidson, happened to call Davo.
All right.
And they're like, oh, say what's up to Pete. Dom, say what's up. You know, say what's up to Dom. And they're like, check this hoodie out. And Pete's like, I need it. I'm going to wear it on Jimmy Fallon. And the next day, he popped up wearing it sitting courtside at a Sixers game.
Yeah.
And it just blew up.
That's great, man. It's a great story. And just to see, especially like now, like obviously, we got a parade tomorrow, right? Eagles win their second Super Bowl in 6 years. And, you look around the store, and it's this brand kind of embodies Philly here. And so, I look at it, and you can kind of see, like, pick up myself to Saquon, leave here today. And you can kind of see it's got a little bit of a graffiti feel to it, a little bit of a urban feel to it. And, like, the artistic style of the brand has a Philly vibe. I mean, and that's just me. How would you describe the art history brand?
Unique. Like, so when I first started making shirts, I didn't know anybody that made shirts. This is like pre-social media. I didn't know anybody that did what I did. And here we are 20 years later since I started making shirts, and I'm like, everybody makes shirts now.
Yeah, they do.
So how do you stand alone?
Yeah.
How do you find a way to have the light shine on you when there's 50 million other people trying to get that light shined on you? And it's being authentic and being original, being unique. And I think that we do really good at that.
Yeah, you think it's the right way. Like I said, your approach with the Big Dom situation here, and just being a stand-up guy. Like we were talking earlier about, like, people do some, rip off things here. Like your brand just got ripped off before we did it. And amongst others, right?
Yeah, well, the Big Dom has got bootlegged a million times over. So, yep.
Right. And so doing things the right way kind of emulates the brand is the end person behind it. So
yeah, well, when it comes to business, don't you want to do business with the guy that's honest, that you could trust, and transparent?
Yeah. So. Definitely.
Because sometimes you got to take it as a compliment. You could make this many bootlegs,
Yeah, so they say imitation is the biggest form of flattery, but you just can't buy groceries and pay bills with flattery.
Can't monetize that. There's no check on that. That's great, man. So art history 101, right? Is the story of the official brand. The name. What's the story kind of behind that?
Yeah. So the art history part is, I've always was a graffiti artist. When I first started going to fashion design school, I took art history class, art history 101. And then I worked for a clothing company where hand painted stuff was like the niche. And I started learning more and more about different kinds of art, different artists. And I started just falling in love with just like all types of art. And I came up with the name thinking that it's an appeal to everybody, no matter age, color, race, religion, where you're at in the world, like just art history. It's appealing to everybody, the name. And then the 101 part actually stands for one of a kind.
Original. Yeah.
So
I like that.
Funny thing is, before I really put out any shirts, I just had the idea art history. I would tell people like, yeah, I'm going to start this company called Art History. And people would be like, I've heard of that before. And it was just like a name that people just like heard it. Yeah, so like, I've heard of that brand before. And then, throughout the last couple of years or whatever, even talking to attorneys, doctors, just being out in the world in general. People are like, I love the name.
Yeah.
How'd you come up with it? I get that question all the time.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to come up with something that was appealing to everybody, and it's a pretty strong name.
It definitely is. Man. I love the one-on-one. I was thinking kind of like Rob was saying, or like almost like, hey,
Education
class act.
Yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean? Taking it back to education, but one-on-one. That's awesome. They kind of.
So to even play off the name is some of the shirts we've put out, we've only made 101.
Okay.
We've numbered all
Yeah.
and like things like that. So we've even
You
taken
need to make more than that, 101.
Exactly. Yeah. Now. Yeah.
What did your mom think when you started making these shirts? Was she buying it, or do you think you were crazy?
Nah, she was all about it.
Yeah.
My mom knew that I was always like a good kid. I just needed to focus on more positive things, and when you're a kid, you're getting in trouble and you're using your energy for bad things, whatever. So she just always said to me, I always knew that you were a good kid. You just had to focus your energy on something positive. And my mom said something recently that she was like, once Jay gets that idea in his head, he's all in.
Yeah.
And he will not quit until he hits his goal. So
How often do you think, like, wow, is this real? Like, is this really happening to me?
Yeah,
I feel like you're still going up.
It feels like it's still just the beginning.
It's so far to get to the top for you.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people in my industry that I look up to that I know make some serious money.
Yeah.
So as much as I love what I do, and I feel like I'm like, oh, is this really a job?
Right.
Right. But now it's like, all right, this is a legitimate business. This is a legitimate brand. Like, how far can we take this? How much money can we make?
Yeah.
And that just changed since I had kids.
Okay.
Yeah, before I had kids, I'm just like, as long as I pay my bills, I can fly around and be.
Yeah.
Now you're building legacy.
No,
Yeah. Good. I love that.
So when you start here and you open up the store here today, were you doing like kind of like custom work for people in the beginning?
I was. So,
Yeah.
And we kind of went off the path. I went off the path because originally my whole goal was to start a brand similar to like a Nike, Adidas, Reebok, something that, a worldwide brand. But then people would come in and be like, I want you to do my landscaping shirts. I want you to do my roofing shirts. We had schools coming to us. Yeah, we want you to do all the school shirts. And I was spending so much time doing custom orders that the brand always took a back seat.
Yeah.
And I used to say, I don't want to do custom orders anymore. It's the same job. I'm getting paid less money. Another thing is, like, if I do a custom order for, a blue collar business, they order 100 shirts and then they might not order again for a whole nother year. Where if I spend that same amount of time on an art history design, I could sell hundreds of shirts over and over and over and over. And I'm selling for retail instead of like wholesale.
Right.
So I kept on saying, like, I just want to focus on the brand. And I think everyone around me, friends, families, employees, people that did my website at the time, everybody's like, your brand's not strong enough for you to make it on your own. You would need these custom orders to keep you afloat. And I guess I just hit my breaking point. I'm just like, you know what? I'm not doing no more custom orders. And literally like 2 months later, it just took off, and I was making more money in a week, 2 weeks than I was in months.
You know what's funny, man, is like you hear that, like, because you probably have a business on there taking orders and stuff like that, but like you said, you're breaking your balls.
Yeah.
But it wasn't what you really fucking wanted.
Yeah, I wasn't passionate about it.
Was it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you fucking
like
bet
grunt work
on yourself, dude, is what you did. And that's a scary thing to do. Especially saying, you know what, I'm gonna walk away from money on the table, you know what I mean, to what I'm really fucking passionate about here. And I'm gonna bet on myself and my artistic ability and my dream and my passion here. And here you are, you did it, man. So fucking kudos, man. That's great, man.
Thank you.
It takes balls, man. It takes balls and it takes brains to kind of execute.
Well, the thing is, like I had a vision.
Yeah.
And no one else could see it. But it's funny now that like how it all played out.
Yeah.
When did it explode into like the sports? Was it just the brand? Like,
so like I never really seen sports shirts done the way that like I do them.
Okay.
So back in 2017, before the season, that was Super Bowl season for us.
Right.
And before the season started, one of my employees was like, Alshon Jeffrey is doing an autograph signing right now at Modell's in the Roosevelt Mall. which for people that don't know, it's literally like 5 minutes from my store. So I said, just hold it down. I'll be back. I grabbed 2 shirts, threw them in a bag. I got the models. I got lucky. The security guard goes, "You're going to be the last one in line."
Wow.
So I said, all right. He locked the door behind me. I waited to meet Alshon. I gave him the shirts. I kind of gave him a little rundown saying, like, I'm not like some kid making shirts in the basement. I got a legitimate store. Like, I've been in the industry for a while. I gave him the shirts. We took a picture.
What were on the shirts? Was it?
They were Eagles.
Yeah.
Like Eagles.
Okay, your stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
And by the time that I got back into my car and I looked at my phone, he was following us on Instagram. So I was like, I must have made some type of impact, like Larry Limit stuff, right? So throughout the season that year, we played Dallas. We beat Dallas twice. So the second time we beat Dallas, it was such a big deal. And I remember watching the game at one of my friend's house in Jersey who was a Cowboys fan. And it was just like, yeah, we beat his home game, you know?
It's always fun beating the Cowboys.
Right. So, like, on the way back to Philly, I remember I'm crossing the bridge and my phone starts blowing up and people are like, Alshon Jeffrey is wearing art history in the locker room when he was getting interviewed. And it was like one of them just legendary Alshon Jeffrey interviews. Not a fan of reporters. I'm gonna say whatever I want. Like, and I love Alshon.
Yeah.
So he just gave one of them legendary interviews rocking art history shirt, and like on Twitter and everything, everybody's like, "Where can you get that shirt at?" And all the articles that were spreading from like the news and social media and all sports outlets said like, as he's wearing like the art history shirt. So after that, 2 weeks later, Nelson Aguilar and Corey Clement were doing the autograph signing. So I went there, did the same thing. And Nelson Aguilar goes, "I know who you are. Alshon told me." And he was like, "I don't want the same shirt you gave Alshon. I want something mine." So I was like, "Let's collab on something." He said, "Do me doing the fallback in the end zone." So I came up with a design that said "Fly Eagles Fly," and I used him as the Y falling back in the end zone. And that season, right before the Super Bowl, NFC Championship game, we played Minnesota. On Thursday night, he did another autograph signing. I go there with the artwork. I show it to him, and he's like, "Oh, that's that drip right there. Like, you got to put it out." And he was so cool about everything. Like, "Yeah, you got to put it out." We videotaped everything, our interactions. So we put it on social media. And literally the next day, it was like we sold thousands of shirts. It was like insane. And then we won the Super Bowl 2 weeks later.
God, yeah.
And that's basically like kind of like, yeah. So that's the story. I mean, I think that people think like it might have happened different, but it was just all hustling.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah, just making things happen. That's it, you know?
Taking chances.
Yeah.
It's great, man. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I got chills just thinking about, especially that year was such a big year too. I mean, obviously, you know, the result here, and then here it is, you know, kind of repeating itself all over again, right? You know, so you know, with the momentum it's had now, and just over the 15 years here, I know you've had some setbacks though too, right? I mean, probably the biggest one that I remember is, I guess, right after COVID, I think, on the buzz, right? You had the fire in the building, right? So, I mean, and you lost everything, right? The dislocation we're sitting in right now.
And as an insurance guy, let me tell you, I didn't have insurance.
Yeah,
we lost everything.
Oh,
it was devastating.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, we lost. It was devastating. But it ended up being one of the biggest blessings I want to say that ever happened for me, like business-wise and just in life in general, I guess, because it exposed everything that I was doing wrong.
Yeah.
And all the help that I had, like all the times that I've helped people previous to that,
Right.
It all just like came back to me.
Yeah.
Like everybody was like, "What do you need? I'll do whatever to help you." Started GoFundMe because originally my sister-in-law hit me up saying like, "We want to do a GoFundMe for you." And I was like, "Nah, I don't want to be the guy that's like a charity page. I don't need no one saying like, oh, remember
I can build it again, right?
And then a good friend of mine who's very successful in life goes, "That's just your ego and pride talking. We all want to help you."
Right.
And from that, like I got help. I got a business advisor, and he had told me that he was like, "Jay, off your talent, hustle, and personality, you have got to this level. And if you want to get to the next level, which I know you do, because like I know you want the big house, the cars, you want all the money and all the fame and success, and also he was like, you have to master the non-sexy part of the business, which is like all the back office stuff, and hiring and strategic business planning and organizational charts and like things like that. So like, just changed my life.
Yeah, that's great. You took it as a learning process, And the one thing I read, like you described it as like a Rocky story of your own in the city.
Absolutely.
So that was a great comment, like great way to look at it.
Yeah. Man, I think a lot of people thought, actually, I lie. Like, at the time it happened, everybody's like, well, if anybody's going to bounce back from, it's going to be you. Like, hundreds of people are writing me saying, like, yeah, it happened, but, like, if anyone's going to bounce back, it's going to be you. And I think that, like, you can speak things into existence. And I think, like, all the people just saying that to me, it just rolled into momentum. And the first shirt we put out said, can't kill the dream. And it was just a black and white T-shirt. We put it out. We sold 600 of them off like the first 24 hours. 600 shirts like that, and it just snowballed and just continued to go up.
I remember following it because we are practically neighbors here, and being kind of familiar with that happened. You know what I mean? And it affected you on a personal level, us in the community. But the fucking next. That week, I remember you doing a pop-up. You did a pop-up right in the corner, right here in my office.
Yeah,
like that was like this fucking guy, man. Right, it wasn't. And then before you know, I remember seeing the fucking Starbucks, right? Or Starbucks, right? Wow, this guy is like nothing is going to stand in his way. Which I just thought, wow, this is a store on wheels. Like, hey, he doesn't have a physical location. It doesn't matter. It's not stopping. He's got the store.
So just how you were saying, like our following, our support system is that when we didn't have the store, we would just do pop-ups with the store bus. And we would just park up on like busy corners, or like we other friends that own businesses will just say like, here, you can use our parking lot, or you can come to our business. And we had so many people that were like, we miss coming to a store that we're not going to buy online. I'm just going to wait for you to do a pop-up. So we were doing pop-ups every weekend, and it was awesome.
How long did it take you to get back here?
9 months.
9 months.
So we worked out of my house. We did internet orders throughout the week. And on the weekends, we did pop-ups.
All right. And here we are. Now you're kind of outgrowing this location, right? See, you were telling us beforehand, you got another location across the street, like a warehouse. Kind of in effect here. So all this bigger things happen right before you unfold here, right?
Absolutely.
So what's that time something come back here?
Absolutely. We purchased a building. Now I'm a commercial building owner, commercial real estate owner.
You might need a couple of buildings.
Absolutely. So we want to be able to produce like a couple thousand pieces per day. So that's the whole goal.
The way to do it, I guess.
With the bigger location, we have a ton of collaborations with like athletes, celebrities, influencers, where we're going to have them come to the store, do meet and greets, and just do more events and more entertainment stuff to get people like,
That seems like a perfect fit for you.
Absolutely.
I mean, how many opportunities do you get the chance to sit down here with like a Big Dom or a Zach One or someone like that, you know what I mean? And maybe to kind of connect, your brand, community, the Eagles, which is, greatest team in the world, no doubt about that. So I think that's great. I hear about all these collaborations we're doing and bringing collaborations we're doing and bringing sit down these guys here, let's sit down here. I mean, go ahead, baby. Come on, bring them all in. Come on, bring them all in.
I think that we're one of the last stores like in the city of Philadelphia that's doing stuff like that, because most of the meet and greets happen in the county. We got Willow. So like, I want to be the place like in Philly. I mean, we're a block away from Cotton Frankfurt, which is legendary. So to bring the players and stuff like that into the store where the neighborhood could come, meet them, shake hands, take pictures with them and stuff like that. I think that is really, it's a win-win for everybody that's involved.
Yeah, no doubt. So you do all these designs. Do you have a favorite design over years, one that's kind of close to it. I mean, I see the one right now probably sticks out that you were showing me beforehand, which you use your son as the Let's Hunt, right? You're showing me pictures of the one you took of your son, and that was kind of inspiration for that design there. Like, wow, that's, it really hits close to home here. Outside of that, like, over the years, I'm sure you have a lot of ones that you're really, really excited about. Is there some that stick out the most?
I want to say that most of them that stick out are the collaboration ones that because I like to work with other people.
Yeah.
I actually have two that have my son on it. The one where he's spray painting the heart.
Yeah.
That was my son when he was like 3 years old.
Yeah. How old is he now?
He's 5.
Okay.
So that one's him a little bit older. It's going to be funny as he gets older. We're just going to keep on. But yeah, to be able to put my son on, and actually my son gets a check from here, so to be able to pay my son off the business and stuff like that is awesome. The Big Dom is definitely real special for all the people that rock it and how much publicity it's gotten us. Another one that's special is I did the hoodie Soulja Boy, the rapper Soulja Boy is wearing, and Crank That. It was the first viral rap video on YouTube. Got like 1 billion views. But that one kind of changed a lot of stuff for me.
I like this one here.
Yeah, the Zach Long one. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So today, Landon Dickerson popped up wearing it. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. popped up wearing that one. Before the NFC Championship game, Jordan Malata was on NBC Sports wearing it. So, I mean, just to see everybody embrace it is the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And also we got a ton of orders from Wisconsin. So Zach Bowman,
where he's from?
Yeah. And then he played in New Orleans. We got a ton of orders from New Orleans. Yeah, people were writing me on Instagram saying I'm Zach Bowman's biggest fan. I'm in New Orleans. So our slogan is "Star Each the World," and the thought behind that is similar to a Nike check or a McDonald's M. Once you see that, you just know it's McDonald's. You know it's Nike without even having to say. It's just the logo, boom, right? So our slogan "Star Each the World" is when you see our logo, you just know that's our history.
Yeah. And doing a great job with it, man, because it's become recognizable here especially in the area here. So now obviously you have a stronghold and a great presence and well known here in the Philly market, and obviously now it's expanding kind of something. So what's the expansion look like? I mean, kind of growing. I know, listen, like you said, this is kind of feeling like you're just in the beginning of this. The sky's the limit here, and so what's kind of next on the horizon as far as expansion goes?
So I met Pete, the owner of Chickies and Pete's. And I had told him I want to be the Chickies and Pizza T-shirts, where I have store on the boardwalk, store in the airport, multiple locations. And his response was, "From what I know, you already are." So I would like to open up more locations.
And I see yourself going
oh, absolutely,
further out.
Absolutely. So we've done a couple pop-ups in Wildwood on the boardwalk, and we crush it.
Yeah.
So I know that there's potential there, but also is that the blueprint that we created here in Philadelphia, you could take that blueprint and just replicate it for other cities.
Right.
So we've got reached out from different colleges and different sports teams and different businesses. So I told you guys before we got live on the air that a sports agency that's huge reached out to me yesterday saying that they have players that want to collab with us. So I could just see us doing major pop-ups all over the country, collaborations where we do the artwork, we do the clothes, the players pop up, do the meet and greet.
Yeah, I was thinking small for a second before you said that. You could do every team in the whole league.
So getting licenses. Obviously, Michael Rubin is the king of that.
Okay.
He's the king of the industry that I love sports clothing stuff.
Yeah.
So I could see myself getting into that space more and more as we go. But one of my goals is to do collabs with all the Philadelphia professional sports teams: Sixers, Flyers, Eagles, Phillies. Why not?
They'd be crazy if they're not already in talks with you now.
I know. What are they waiting for?
Yeah, I mean, all the players here, like they got it. So, like, hey, listen, we're missing out. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's awesome, man. So as far as like popular design, right? So I mean, you said the big Dom right now is one that's all, really kind of, really trending right now. Really trending right now. Years, is that really kind of been the biggest? Is that one that's been the biggest? Wow, this is like the most timeless one that we've had so far. You have something here designs that hey, we've been running this thing. We've been running 10 or 15 years. 15 people still come in and ask us. In fact, one of the ones that I always see is probably the most.
Philly,
right?
That's
Right,
one that we
right,
always,
right.
yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are some classics, but with us and like especially that's just me in my head is that I'm always like, we need something new. We need something new because like as soon as it comes out, I'm over it. I'm like, all right, let's go to the next one.
Yeah. Can't be stale. You gotta be fresh.
Yeah, just like as the artist, it's like I loved it when I was designing it. I loved it when like I'm the type of person where it's just like I have this idea. I love to design it. I love to like burn the screens, get it on the machine. As soon as we print one row, I'm like, all right, I'm on to the next.
Right.
Rip the screen,
Yeah, like I constantly just want to do the next.
Right.
Even the skateboards I see in here, you do those too. Like,
Yep, skate decks, everything, socks, keychains. We've been selling a ton of the artwork lately, like the canvas prints and stuff like that. So yeah.
Wow.
I know. I was looking online for all my Super Bowl merch, and like the one thing popped up was the Cooper DeJean touchdown, like running into the end zone. It's like autograph pictures, $200. I said, I gotta get this. So imagine any of this stuff, like people go crazy.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and like as every person that I've worked with so far, like Westbrook, Big Dom, I asked all of them to autograph stuff for me. So me and Dom got a picture. It's me and him in his office holding up the shirt. I got him to autograph it. Same thing with Brian Westbrook, Kyle Thomas. I bought their throwback jerseys. I got them to like autograph them and stuff like that. So I'm gonna hang them up in the new store. But eventually, my goal is to pass it down to my kids.
Yeah.
And how many kids you got?
Right, two.
Two kids. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
You see them getting into they drawing at all like you or
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My son loves art history. Today on the way to school, he's talking about the bootlegging. What we do? What a play is because he just overheard me on the phone and like, it's a picture of my son. So he knows that they like altered his picture, like they stole the one with him on it. So he might be more angry than I think. He is, but today was Valentine's Day, dress down day. So like, I made him a shirt with him spray painting the heart. So like he could go to school and tell all the kids like this is me on the shirt. But he has told me like that. Other kids in school like wear art history on dress down day. So he's into it, man. That's great. Yeah, he's came to our pop ups with the first big Dom pop-up we did at Chickies and Pete's. It was freezing cold out, and he was out there all day with us, helping us sell shirts and stuff like that. 5 years old.
Teaching them a good work ethic, man. Yeah, that's it. Teach them the business side of it, right? Yeah.
Especially this all this stuff explodes with the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. Where did you get to watching that? The game?
So we came here during the fourth quarter to open up.
To be ready.
Yeah, so we I live right by Northeast Airport, not too far from here. So like I had my mom, my nieces and nephews over and everything like that. So pretty cool because during the fourth quarter they all left with me to come here.
Roping it up.
Yeah, and then we just watched the rest of the game here and all stuff.
Also awesome that you could pack them all up because the game was like well in hand.
Exactly. Yeah.
It wasn't the right for sure.
Yeah.
So obviously here that night, I drove by. I saw that you guys were open. Didn't see how was the track? It was
crazy.
I mean, obviously the corner was probably the most packed I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
Even more so than last Super Bowl, no doubt. I think.
Absolutely. So like the thing is, a lot of people come in that are cold. They want to buy hoodies, scullies. Some people that aren't wearing Eagles, they just want to be a part. So they're just like, just give me anything Eagles. So literally, we're selling shirts like nonstop, but also is like a lot of friends and family stop through and just go Birds, you know. So I just love that we're still here in the neighborhood. Like even my friends that moved out of the neighborhood that came to Frankfurt and Cotton to celebrate, they just always stop through.
It's definitely sometimes you get a little a bad name here, but when things like that and you get a lot of heat and light when a moment like that happens here at Cotton and Frankfurt. It's like
Frankfurt's the spot for
that's
the
it.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
And I always say art history is one thing that bridges the gap because we sell to everybody,
Right?
And everybody seems to embrace it. And same thing with sports.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your background is, what culture you come from, color your skin. Yep. It's just them things bridge the gap. So to do art, sports, have a store, everything like that, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, that's great. Now, tomorrow's trade day, right? You're gonna be open here tomorrow, right?
Yep.
So if people can come in, stop in, get your Saquon, get your Zach on, definitely, and a lot of other good stuff here. So I see the North Falcons. I love that. My brother went to North, and I know you love that. Take a picture of it. And what's kind of on the horizon? You have anything? I mean, I don't want to kind of give anything away, but you have some some cool upcoming designs that kind of maybe correlate to the Super Bowl here. To anything else on the horizon?
Yeah, so the goal is to eventually get our clothes in the pro shop.
Okay.
In the stadium.
Wow.
Right? And get the licenses from the Eagles and continue to climb that ladder with more licensing.
Yeah.
I'm sure Big Dom will help you pave the way for that, right?
Yeah. So we were told that people have been flooding into that pro shop asking for it.
Really?
Yeah. So that's the next step. But also it's Philly's spring training starting. And people have already been hitting me up saying,
Really?
You did it for the Eagles. Now the next is the Phillies. So I got my eyes on the Phillies next. And
like a collab with Harper or any of them. Yeah.
Also, Bryce Harper is someone that shows up to the games, rocking similar stuff like this. So we have got him in some artistry. We got pictures of that. Yep. So funny story. Last year, my friend Davo was with Bryce Harper and Bryson Stott. They were doing a little league meet and greet. And one of the kids was wearing our Fanzilla design. And from what I was told is that Bryce Harper was "Where'd you get the shirt from?" I love it. And my friend David was like, "Oh, that's art history. Let me call Jay." So he called me up that night and he was like, "Bring a shirt, this and that thing." So I made sure that they were all taken care of and placed them all with gear. So
I could easily see you doing something with him because he's so Philadelphia, loves it all.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing here in Philly, I just want to keep on taking it to the next level.
Yeah. I guess you can get some grade tomorrow. Yeah. I don't know if there's no Kelsey wearing the Mummer stuff.
Maybe it might be great. Speaks more. Someone rocking some more history. Yeah. That put, like you said, helps put the Mummers outfit on the map.
Yeah.
Someone gives a great speech tomorrow and one of the art history. It's only going to kind of add some momentum, fuel here. People will be lining up again and blowing up in line orders and everything.
Yeah. I mean, with the Bradley Cooper thing is we got internet orders from Australia, Ireland, Canada, all over the place.
Yeah.
So we've sold our flyer stuff, to people in Sweden and New Zealand and Canada and things like that. So we have started reaching other countries. You don't realize that people all over the place still love Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And even not be Bradley Cooper fans. I mean, you have a star who's he's an A-list celebrity, right? It's not like he's a B-list.
Yeah.
He's one of the best top actor in the world.
So, just there, from that sheer fact, it's amazing.
Because he's from the area, too. I feel like the best people are from this area. I'm not.
There's definitely something about Philly authentic.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I know once Mike sent me the thing of Bradley Cooper, I was like, I don't think he's going to come on, Mike.
Yeah.
He's not coming on.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, man, they might be like, have no time for flyby. Just blow it up.
He went through the roof.
Yeah.
Maybe you can make us a flyby sweatshirt once we make it bigger.
Yeah. But Jay, I think you can kind of like, talk to you a little bit. You really are a great success story. I mean, neighborhood guy here, Northeast Philly guy. You said, hey, listen, I've always been in kind of graffiti, and you had a little bit of a misspent youth, right? And you kind of maybe easily kind of fell off that path a little bit, but you were able to kind of find your way. And I think that's an interesting story. I mean, if you won't mind kind of sharing a little bit, like I know, like hey, when you were younger, like you said, you were in graffiti, you got busted with graffiti when you're like 10 years old. When you're right, 10 years old, right?
Yeah, I was 12, 13 years old. I think that you would like this story. That So back when I was arrested, there was like an infamous judge as a juvenile that you did not want to get if you were like in trouble, and his name was Judge Reynolds.
Right.
Yes.
So like,
he's the real deal.
Yeah. So like,
He was like he was staunch. Like he was yelling at kids.
Yeah. So like. That was just like
in a good way.
Like word on the street is like if you get locked up, like you don't want to get Reynolds because like he's gonna hit you over the head with something. So. I was arrested with 2 other people for graffiti, so they actually didn't get Judge Reynolds. And when I got Reynolds, he hit me over the head. So it's like I had 300 hours community service as like a 13-year-old kid. Right. So the thing is that I was on probation until I finished my community service. So they actually had me do community service at the 15th and the 2nd.
Okay.
So all the cops got to know who I was. So like hanging up Ethan Allen, if cops came and we're drinking or smoking or blah blah, like there's no point in running because they're gonna catch me at community service. Right? And another thing is that like I was lucky enough to where my mom showed up. When I went for Reynolds, and she had asked if she could talk, and he let her talk, and she was like, "I don't want to see my kid behind bars. He's a good kid. Like he just needs to find something that he's into and everything like that." And he let me go home. Yeah. And right afterwards, my mom took me bowling. Like as soon as we leave like court, right? So I told my mom, like anybody else would go like out there ass beating, like, and like grounded and everything like that. I'm like, you took me bowling. And she was like, I just know you're a good kid. You just gotta put your energy into something positive. She bought me all the drawing books you could think of, all the markers, all the pencils, blah blah. So like, I never wanted to go to jail. Like I never wanted to sit in jail for 6 months or anything like that. So literally, I want to say that was everything that like changed. So I started delivering flyers for local pizza stores to make some money. By the time I was 16, I had my first job. By the time I was 17, I was working at Foot Action. By the time I was 18, they had moved me up to assistant manager. So it was kind of like, I did mess up, but then like it kind of like put me on a different path.
You start taking that negative kind of action, you're graffitiing out on walls and stuff like that, destroy property, and you're like, well, you know what? I do like art. Let me channel it. And you know what? Foot action. I love clothes, sneakers. And then channel that into business, and you move up, and and you kind of find your way there. You even work for a local design company too. It was Mesquite, right? So
4.5 years I worked for them.
Right. And I think if I'm not mistaken, like how old were you in Mesquite? I think you went there for the job interview, right? Yeah.
It was my second. It was my second semester in fashion design school. One of my counselors there told me like, there's a company local that does what you do as far as like painting shirts. He got me their address, and then one day after school, I just went over there wearing one of my hand painted shirts with my portfolio. I'm on the doorbell. They gave me an interview. I was so nervous. Yeah. And on the way home, I'm taking the L back from Center City to Northeast Philly. Right. And I'm sitting there thinking of all the things I should have said. I should have said that. I should have said this. I went home and I wrote like a 3-page essay on like all the questions and answers I wish I would have said. I went back the next day, rung the doorbell.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I'm like, Jay, can you interview me yesterday? They're like, yeah, what's up? And I was like, yo, I thought about all the answers I wish I would have said. So I was like, here. And they're like, no one ever did this to get a job here. So they like let me hang out.
Yeah.
So I got to meet like a bunch of the artists and painting shirts there. I thought that they were like the coolest thing in the world. And I like took the train back home to the Northeast, and I'm telling everybody, yo, they're gonna hire me. They love me, like this, that, and other thing. So like a week went by, no phone call. Like 2 weeks went by, and everybody like, did they call you? I'm like, nah, that's just yeah. And like 3 weeks went by, they eventually like called me and brought me in, and I got the job. So.
That's awesome. Great experience for you.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was saying in the beginning. My mom says like once I get an idea, I just like I gotta see it through. So
mom's far away, kind of like, hey, you know what I mean? Find
lucky,
you know what? Like, no, we're gonna find something here for you.
yeah,
And we're gonna channel it, and you know, you're lucky. Yeah, fortunate that was.
So like, not that this would happen. I'm sure your son's very taken care of and smart. If he goes out and starts graffiti, and you're gonna take him bowling after he goes.
probably not. Probably not. The thing is, like, dads and moms are two dads, right? You know, right. It's funny because yep.
I think we'll be.
I know that my kids act different when daddy's around. You know,
You know what? It's the truth, man. We each have moms, dads, each have a role.
Yep, and like I grew up without a dad, so like it's different.
Right.
And I put a lot of time and effort into making sure that I spend time with my son and teach him all the things. So.
Right.
Your mom was the mom and the dad.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. She held it down. Yep.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, for single moms, especially like kind of, you know, back then a little bit, you know what I mean? Or like, you know, women had a little bit less opportunity back then versus men, you know what I mean?
My mom didn't have it easy. So my little sister had leukemia. So there was 4 of us. We're all 2 years apart. My little sister, then me, my brother, and then my sister. So like she was diagnosed with leukemia at 4 years old. I was 6. She ended up passing away when she was 8 years old. I was 10. So my mom was a single mom throughout the whole thing. So like we had a rough childhood, you know, but my mom we always had enough.
Yeah.
We always had a roof over our head. We always had
Strong woman that has to be strong for you guys. You know, I mean, as a parent, you know, I can't fathom that.
Yeah, I mean, even now that I have kids, I look back and I'm just like, I wouldn't.
To think about the strength that you had to carry everything together for you, your brother, your sister, here to say,
absolutely.
The toughness and the struggle, like, just makes you a stronger person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Mom's amazing. Well, I like meet her.
Yeah.
She reminds me a lot of my mom, man. You know, I know that. Just like, you know, that grittiness, you know what I mean? And, you know, love her kids. And so.
Mom's great.
Yeah. It's a great woman. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
So I just got my son in the jiu-jitsu at 5 years old.
So find something positive to channel him in early, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All boys need something to get this to punch.
That's what I'm saying. So
yeah. Good. Does he like it?
Loves it.
Does he?
Yeah.
Good.
Loves it.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
So now you know, with Brazilian jiu-jitsu, right? Is that what you're taking, right?
Yeah.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And I'm not too familiar, but like, do they have like kind of competitions, or is it more like just kind of at this age of 5 and stuff like that? It's more just training and just grappling and learning some of the stuff, right?
So from what I understand, that they do have competitions. He's not that deep in. We just kind of started. So like right now he's training, but he's there a couple days a week, whatever. So yeah.
Trying to show you.
Yeah, he's learning. Yeah.
Show you going hard.
So the thing is, he knows how to do chokes and arm bars. But like the funny thing is that it's 45-minute training. And there's times where he's like, Dad, I want to stay. So I'm like, we'll just go home. And me and him would like rough house the whole time. I think I got a scratch on my face right now. So it's like, but yeah, it's awesome.
That's great, man. Yeah. I think, you know, like my son who's in college, our sons are actually really good college, so kind of we know articulate sports growing up together, and now they're kind of through it. But nothing's better than seeing your son pick up something, learn it, and just kind of fall in love with and be passionate about it.
Absolutely.
So enjoy every minute of it, brother. It's a good ride. It's a short one, but I mean, like, enjoy every minute while it's here. Man. That's great. Yeah.
He's gonna have us doing like art history, jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Whole,
Right.
whole team.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
It's funny because like our kids section has picked up so much since I had kids. Because like before I even had kids, people were like, well, you need more kids shirts. Like my kids love art history. I started having kids, and our kids section has picked up so much that every year we constantly like increase like sales on kids stuff.
Yeah.
So, like,
That's great.
Yeah, got a lot of great stuff for the kids. I see that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then now my friends are telling me like my kids won't wear anything but art history. It's really cool.
Right. Yeah, they get the matching set for family too. Man. That's it. Like,
Well, so that now that you bring that up, so like say Christmas time, we always put out like a Christmas shirt.
Yeah.
And like even Valentine's Day, stuff like that. But when people like post up them like holiday pictures where the whole family is like laced in the same art history shirt and they're taking like Christmas photos. And, like,
Right.
I started thinking in my head, I'm like, dude, these pictures might be around for a lifetime.
Oh my God.
Right.
You know, like hang them up on the walls and everything like that, and they're wearing. And I feel like art history is a part of it.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, man, that means the world to me. Like,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, that's great. Good.
Nothing else.
This has been great. Yeah. I appreciate you sitting down with us
Oh,
and
absolutely.
doing this.
No problem. Thank you for sharing your platform with me.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, always, brother. Thank you so much. I love the gear. If you guys haven't, gotta come down here. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the place is incredible. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a Philly sports fan. There's something for everybody. No doubt about it. So, Jay, thanks for joining us, pal. I appreciate it, man. Let's go, Bird. Let's party hard. Get your free gear here.
That
And art history. All
Let
right.
me say, if you can't make it to the art history store, our website is always open for business, arthistory101.com. And if you're in the United States, we offer free shipping. So there's no reason.
Oh, even better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Check them out. Awesome stuff here, guys. Again, Jay, thanks for joining us, pal. Really appreciate it. Yeah, bro. All right, guys. Thanks again for checking us out on the flyby. We'll see you guys next time, okay? Thanks.
So long.